Hey guys, this is Mr. Colgan. Wanted to make a video for you today to show you what we're going to go over in class. The goal for today is to be able to take notes and use Cornell Notes because we want to use them to study. So our weekly goal this week is that we know how to take and use Cornell Notes to study, not just take them and put them in a binder and never see them again, or not just take them and stuff them in a book bag and never see them again. But we want to use these notes to study, and we want to be like CSI, and we want to be able to prove that we studied our notes. So these are the Cornell notes we took. We took the notes, and we left this big piece of room over here on the left-hand side, so we can go back and make questions that'll help us study, and it proves that we did some studying. Again, you do not want to make these questions up once you take the notes when you're sitting in class. You want to take the notes when you get, let me try it again, you want to make the questions up when you get home at night. Okay? So we're going to talk about studying our notes today and making questions. You guys probably remember this. This probably started fights back in the spring over Twitter over what color the dress was. What I liked about this was it was a tough question that you couldn't really give a definite answer to, and it created an argument. And people got mad at each other and yelled at each other. But it was good because it made you think and it made you really look at the dress if you wanted to get into the argument. And those are the types of questions we want to ask when we go back over our notes to prove that we studied. So there was a guy who came up with this house. His name is Costas. And he said there's three types of questions. There's the really easy questions, which are level 1 questions down here, which you can't really argue about. And then there are questions on the second floor of the house, which you can argue about. And then there are questions at the third floor of the house, which make you do some really, really deep thinking. But today I want to just focus on the second floor of the house. Okay? So what I did was I looked at some ads of my own, and I made some questions. So here is one ad that I looked at, and I made some really easy questions that we can't argue about. Like list the people in the poster. Well, we can't argue that's Penny Hardaway. I know it's really small, but it says Penny Hardaway down here at the bottom. So we can't argue about that. What sport does this person play? Well, this person, I can see the NBA logo right here. I see he's wearing a basketball jersey. I see he's wearing basketball shorts. I see it's an Orlando Magic jersey. There is no question this guy is a basketball player. We can't argue about that. The last one is identify which sneaker company is being advertised. And I see the Nike logo right here. So again, we can't argue about that because all the answers are just right there. They're so easy, you don't have to think about them. Okay? So then I made up some tougher questions. So my first tough question was formulate a theory on why Nike signed Penny Hardaway instead of John Stockton. Well, now I've got to think about that, and I got to, make some reasons why they might want Penny Hardaway instead of John Stockton. My second one was what might cause Nike to put Penny Hardaway in ads with a puppet. Again, there's no easy answer for that on the poster. I have to really do some thinking about that. And my last one is how is this sneaker ad similar to other sneaker ads? Again, I'll have to look at some other sneaker ads and I'll have to really think about that. Let me give you one more example of an ad I looked at. Okay, this is the next ad I looked at. And again, I asked some easy questions, and then I went back and I asked some tough questions. Easy questions I asked were, where can I buy this sandwich? Well, it says right in the ad, McDonald's. What kind of bun is it served on? Don't know if you could see it, but it says right here, sesame seed bun. Can't argue about that. And then it said, my next question was, what vegetables are in the sandwich? And it says lettuce and a pickle right here. Again, we can't argue about that. So the next thing we can do is, how does this sandwich compare to others? Well, we might be able to argue a little bit about that, about what this sandwich has and other sandwiches have. Question number 2. Explain what would be the best tasting part of the sandwich. Well, that's something we can definitely argue about. No two people are going to have the same opinion on what the best tasting part of the sandwich is. The last one is, what reasons can you give to buy this sandwich? And everyone could give some different reasons. Again, this is something we can discuss and argue about. So again, just to recap, we want to focus on level 2 words and making level 2 questions that make people have a discussion, think, and argue. And again, I can put this up on the screen while you guys are working. But here's what you guys are going to do today. You're going to use the sneaker ads on the board, and you're going to make 3 easy questions and 3 tough questions. And keep in mind, your tough questions should create discussions or an argument, and you can use the words on the list that I'll put back up on the screen if you need them to help you create questions.